Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, and this is the wake-up call from WUSF. I'm Sky LeBron. Today, you'll hear about a new rule changing how teens are getting their learner's permits in Florida. Here's a hint. It's going to be tougher to start driving on the streets if you're a youngin'. And I've got some local events to get you through the week. To start off, though, let's hit those news headlines. Tampa Bay Water just settled a lawsuit against companies responsible for forever chemicals in water. The chemicals are also called PFAS. It's getting over $21 million from two companies, 3M and DuPont. That's after finding slightly higher levels of the chemicals in 3 different spots, including in Hillsborough County well and river systems. Brandon Moore is with Tampa Bay Water.
PFAS doesn't originate in drinking water. It gets into our drinking water sources through the environment, usually through the use and discarding of products that contain PFAS.
Tampa Bay Water serves more than 2.6 million people in our area. They can use that roughly $21 million from the lawsuit to remove the chemicals. They have until 2031 to comply with federal rules. Just yesterday, I told you about State Senator Blaise Ingoglia taking over the state's CFO role. Because of that, it now sets up a special election. Exhilarating stuff, right? Ingolia's district covered parts of Pasco County, but also Hernando, Citrus, and Sumter counties. The primary for that state Senate race is set for September 30th. One of the big experts on manatees in our area, and honestly across the entire world, died this past weekend. James Buddy Powell was 70. He was the chief zoological officer at Clearwater Marine Aquarium. He grew up around manatees and studied them throughout the world, even helping get protected areas set up for them in other countries. Powell spoke to WUSF years ago after studying the sea cows in Cuba.
It took me years to see my first manatee in Cuba, and the main reason is that they're still hunted. They are so skittish and shy, it's very difficult to find them. We were the first people to ever use satellite tags to track them like we do regularly here in Florida.
Powell also studied other endangered water animals like right whales in the Atlantic and Rice's whales in the Gulf. Starting in August, if you're a teen trying to get your learner's permit in Florida, there's some new rules. Florida passed a law this past session that requires a new 6-hour live education course. Before that, it was a 4-hour drug and alcohol course that allowed you to go at your own pace. It wasn't really live. That's because data shows teen drivers are dying from crashes at a higher rate. Megan Bowman is with Your Florida, which covers how state legislation will impact you and your community. Megan, I remember getting my learner's permit. It wasn't too long ago. And to be honest, that drug and alcohol course was a piece of cake to get. You just had to scroll through the slides and boom, you got it. You won. What's the big difference with this one?
Well, that must be nice, Sky, because, back in my day.
Oh, hey, yeah. Yeah, I love the young people.
No, listen, I had to take health during summer school just to get into driver's ed. I'm not bitter, but yeah. So one big takeaway of this course is that it's 2 hours longer than the previous one. Another one is that this one needs to be taught by a live instructor. It can be in person or online, but it's not go at your own pace like the one you remember so well. Mike Fasano is Pasco County's tax collector. He's a little bit concerned because the state has kind of been dragging their feet getting the information out.
We expect some very unhappy parents and some very disappointed students when they come in after August the 1st, and we're going to ask them the first question, did you take the drug and alcohol course? Well, it doesn't count any longer now. You have to take the 6-hour in-class educational course.
So how do these teens stay in the loop? How do they know what to do?
So at this point, there's not a lot of information about cost, about where you can take the class. And last I checked, the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles website doesn't actually have the new requirements updated on the website. So if I were you, I would just keep checking.
If you want to read more about that story, Megan has a web version of this story on WUSF.org that you could check out right now. Megan, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, Sky.
The end of this week is shaping up to be mighty fun, starting with the first day of Tampa Bay Buccaneers training camp Thursday morning. It's going to be hot as hell out there, but if you're willing to brave that, you'll see some of your favorite guys in the crew as they start warming up for preseason. Tickets are a little less than $11, and we did a little reconnaissance for you because we thought Ticketmaster might slap you with the $60 give me everything in your pocket service fee. But nope, it looks like these tickets are still pretty cheap even with that. The Polish American Society of St. Petersburg holds a Thirsty Thursday, you guessed it, every Thursday. There's Polish beer, pierogies. You truly haven't lived until you've tried a pierogi. And you can polka dance, or at least attempt to do the polka. Pay $1 to get in, or $25 for a year-long membership. Most importantly, you don't have to be Polish to be a part of the party. And here's a quick one if you're trying to save money and fill your belly up. All of the World of Beer locations have 99-cent Wing Wednesdays for bone-in wings or boneless bites. If you eat them boneless, I will judge you. But either way, it's a good way to get your fill of wings without breaking the bank. That's today's wake-up call from WUSF. I know what you're thinking. Sky, when's the new name for the podcast being dropped? Just know we're working on it now. It's a little bit more work than you might expect to do something like this, but we're super excited to show you what's next. And in the meantime, just keep listening to the wake-up call. Keep on liking and rating it to show its support. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode for you, and I'll see you there.